Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're super excited the way that I am for this one. I know coming off of Cremonese you might have certain feelings, but nevertheless this is a derby. One that doesn't have a name, but definitely should. Let's get to it.
If you like my video, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Thanks.
So the Roma-Juventus showdown sees 5th versus 7th. Juventus having been given that 15-point penalty, Roma having the chance to get to 2nd, but not rising to the occasion against Cremonese. But this Juventus honestly is in very good form, winning 4 out of 5 of their last games, scoring 11 and only letting in 3. They have been clean sheet wizards so far this season, with Szczesny doing a really good job in front of Danilo, Bremer, who else from this side? Alexandro, Quadrado, and these guys played such a good match recently, just a few days ago, in the Derby della Mole. So with that, some of those wins that Juventus had included Fiorentina, Nantes in the Europa League. Ultimately, Roma could see Juventus in the Europa League. That would be a dream final for me. I don't know about you. But the team MVPs so far have been Vlahovic. He's up to 8 goals. Milik has 6. But surprisingly, it's Adrien Rabiot who has 5. I never thought of Rabiot as honestly even a decent player. I thought he was average, who just didn't have a big frame on him. But he's done really well for Juventus after links of being tied to Manchester United earlier on in the summer transfer window. So that's shocking. He'll definitely be starting. He's a mainstay in the Juventus lineup right now. But Roma also, letting up only 3 goals in their last 5, but only 2 of those were wins, and that came against Verona. And of course, that really pivotal, what I thought was going to be pivotal, win against Salzburg, but couldn't thrive off that motivation against Cremonese, which is a shame, as Roma was almost able to get into 2nd place. But MVPs for Roma: Dybala 8 goals and 6 assists. Tammy number 2 in Roma's Capocannoniere race with 6 goals and 3 assists. I want to focus on those assists, though. He's done very well at holding up the play, distributing to his teammates, linking up. One thing, though, is sometimes he's stalled in front of net, and we know that he's missed or wasted a few big chances, and you know that he's ruining those, and you know that that's weighing heavily on his psyche. But what better way to get over that than with a big goal against Juventus in front of your home crowd? Let's look a little bit at what Juventus put out in the Derby della Mole earlier this week. So Szczesny in net, Danilo had a goal, Bremer had a goal and an assist, Alexandro made up the rest of that back 3. And then on the wing-back position was the captain, Quadrado, who had a goal, also linked to Roma earlier this week on a free transfer. Probably not that coincidental given Roma's transfer business this past season. Also Fagioli, Berenqueia, and Rabiot. So Fagioli, I think he's an interesting player here. Center midfielder with big character, high energy. I think he's going to be a mainstay in the Azzurri squad sooner than later. Watch out for this kid. He's big, tall. He's even put Locatelli on the bench. So what does that say to you? To me, that's something to be said after Juventus spent something like 40 million euros on Locatelli. Up ahead, they put out Kostic, who had an assist, Di Maria, who had an assist, and Vlahovic. Like I said, Vlahovic is their main guy. I don't need to tell you that, but he's got the most goals on the side, just in front of Milik. I think it was 8, just looking at Vlahovic. Yeah, 8 goals for Vlahovic. Super dangerous, but look at who scored these goals in the Derby della Mole: Danilo, Bremer, Quadrado, and Rabiot. So they're coming from unexpected places, which makes this Juventus dangerous. They're like a wounded animal right now. Given that penalty, they're still not that far out of Europa League places and even Champions League. If I had to bet, I see this Juventus making up that ground with, we're in the 25th round. We've got up until 38 match days. They could get back into the Europa League. I think Champions League is going to be too far of a stretch for them, but let's see. Di Maria, for this one, the probable formations, he's favored in the start over Chiesa, and Juventus have no disqualifications besides Milik being out and Caio Jorge. The yellows will be Rabiot, Alexandro, and Keane. Perhaps that yellow plays into Juventus a little bit more with Rabiot and Alexandro, 2 important players being warned on that. They're not going to want to miss out. So maybe that limits them a little bit. No disqualifications for Roma as well. Cristante and Mancini are both on yellows. Mancini on a yellow, surprise, surprise. Last formation, the one that Roma put out versus Cremonese, was Rui, Mancini, Ibanez, Kambula as the left center back. He will be replaced by Chris Smalling, and you'll see Chris slot as the center back in that back 3. Zalewski, Cristante, Gini, and Spinazzola. I expect that to stay the same. If Spinazzola's fitness is a concern, then El Shaarawy will slot in with Dybala, Pellegrini, and Belotti. I expect Belotti to go out in favor of Abraham. Not Gazzetta dello Sport, who's who I was reading. They think that Belotti gets the start. However, I don't agree with that. One thing though, Dybala and Pellegrini have to learn how to play together. If push comes to shove, it will be Dybala who gets to start. But right now, I feel like Jose is plugging in two circles into square pegs, and they have to learn if they can't coexist. And for me, it's Pellegrini goes out for El Shaarawy because that just has been so much more of a fluid attack. So those are my changes. I'm afraid to give a prediction. Roma are fifth, 1 point out of fourth place right now. There's still so much to gain. I think that Wijnaldum is a mental boost. He's somebody who can get them over the hump and into fourth place, but the team has to rise to the occasion. They have to want it because against Cremonese, that was subjective if they wanted it or not. They didn't play good enough to win, they didn't deserve to lose. However, it wasn't enough. And you got to give 100%. I know it's a long season, but these are like marathons. If I'm going to be a mental coach for the team right now, you have to have this certain approach where you can't just get excited for the big games, but it's the little ones, because 3 points against Juventus and 3 points against Cremonese weigh the same in the leaderboard. Let's see what happens. Pray for the best. Hope for the best. I'm going to get a little ski day in before this one. It's supposed to be snowing finally in the New York area, so I'm excited to get up to Hunter Mountain for an early ride on this. Should be a very nice Sunday. Look for the guy in all red if you'll be there as well. That'll be me. All right, let's stay in touch, and I'll definitely be doing a post-match right after the game against Juventus. Set your alert for that. Give this video a like, throw in comments, all that good stuff. Thanks for joining me. Let's talk after this one. Forza Roma.